Hi everyone, so let's take a look at some common principles in planning personal finance here. The first one that we can see here is about setting financial targets. So setting financial targets can be really very useful in ensuring that you're actually putting enough money aside to have enough money to go on holiday, enough money to perhaps save up for your first deposit on your first house, enough money to actually save up for a wedding and so on. So those financial targets can be very useful for banks, and a number of banks do actually support you in making sure that you can actually raise sufficient amount of money from your income and your costs there, okay, that you face each month. Right, next up, that you manage money to actually finance the purchases that you need to actually make. Perhaps you've had your eyes on a particular pair of boots, or maybe a flat screen TV, something of that sort of order. If so, then of course you may need to actually set a bit of money aside each month so that you've got enough money to actually allocate to that expenditure. Okay, then of course generate income. Firstly, generate income, and then secondly, what about the money that's actually left at the end of each month? Can you actually save that money? Then there's the principle of avoiding debt, of course. So avoiding debt, well, I take this further, to be honest, because I don't think that all debt is bad debt. Some debts are very bad, of course. Credit cards, payday lenders, they're very expensive. But when it comes to debt on buying a house, well, that's perhaps can be seen as a better form of debt. Okay, so yeah, it really does depend there, but you've got to think carefully about avoiding that, because that will have an impact, a bearing on your likely credit rating. Okay, and we'll come to that in a moment. Okay, so it's also about counteracting the impact of inflation as well. That is the general rise in prices. So right now in the UK, we have prices going up. So prices are rising 2.7% currently, 2.7%. Now, at the same time, of course, the interest rate that you can actually get on your savings is not very good. It's about 0.5%. So in real terms, we can see actually your money is losing value to the tune of minus 2.2% here. Each year it's in this sort of type of bank account. Nevertheless, that 0.5%, well, it's better than nothing, but you certainly want to try and find something that acts better against the impact of inflation here, because otherwise your money will lose its purchasing power over time. Okay, yeah, we mentioned this point about debt here, but maintaining good credit rating is important. Good credit ratings, well, that comes from actually managing a level of income coming into your bank account, of course, but of course making sure that you control your expenditure so that you maintain a positive status, you don't go overdrawn frequently, and so on. Okay, then we've got controlling costs, and yes, you do need to keep an eye on costs each month to ensure that you are actually setting those well, actually likely to achieve those financial targets. And then there's the notion of avoiding bankruptcy. So if debts become unsustainable and you cannot actually repay them, then this is where people will legally state their inability to repay their debts. Now, some of those debts may then be wiped off, but some of them may require assets that that individual has to be taken away and sold. So it's a nasty position to be in, and we'll look at this in great detail later on. Okay guys, thanks ever so much. See you next time.